Hey, everybody, welcome back to Off the Wall. I'm Mike, and today we're going into episode 8 from season 3 of the Orville, aka the Orville New Horizons. I say it every week, man. What a great episode! This one just was so good. The writing is fantastic. We get to return to some older storylines, explore some new depth of characters and some new story ideas, and a hell of a celebrity cameo. And it's just, man, once again, just knocking it out of the park with this. This episode deals with the situation regarding the Mocklin female colony, which was established in season 2. And we get to experience some more things with Topa, who is now back to being female, explore some more of the dynamic between her and Bortus and how Bortus is handling not only now raising a daughter, but raising a daughter as a single father since Clyden left. We get to develop some more of the relationship between Bortus and Commander Kelly, which seems like it may or may not be going somewhere. It's a little ambiguous, but especially with the way the episode ends. And we get to really just explore kind of some more of the relationship with the Galactic Union, the planet, whatever, the Planetary Union, whatever it's called. And it was a lot of great world building moments and some great moments of acting as well from some actors you might not have seen it coming from. Rena Owen returns in the role of Havina, who was the long beloved Mocklin author and poet who wrote under a ghost name, a pseudonym, pretending to be male, and became very prolific and beloved by many, and is now the leader of this colony of Mocklin females. And since revealing herself to be a Mocklin female, has now gained this role of notoriety among other Mocklin females who have been hiding. And at this colony, it's been under the protection of both the Union and the Mocklins, under the idea that they will no longer bring in new female born Mocklins, but at the same time, the Mocklins will choose to leave them alone. And up until this point, it's believed that everything's been going hunky dory with this until we find out that no, Havina has actually begun once again smuggling away female born Mocklins to the colony. And she actually invites Topa, who is visiting with Bortus and Kelly, to become a part of this, which leads to Topa being kidnapped and Bortus going full blown Papa Bear. And it's some good stuff. It's some really good stuff. I gotta say, throughout this entire season, Peter Macon, who's been playing Bortus has gotten some of my favorite moments in this entire season. As opposed to like a character like maybe like a Commander Worf from Star Trek, who eventually, especially with Deep Space Nine and in the later seasons of Next Generation, got to have some great emotional moments. Bortus, a character like Bortus, you would expect to be very emotionally kind of numb and one note, and it's actually been quite a breath of fresh air with this character all the way back in season 1, who, while yeah, a little stoic and a little monotone, has never shied away from being an emotional character. We've seen Bortus express his love for Clyden in the times they were together. We've seen many moments of Bortus expressing his love for Topa, particularly this season. And this episode is no different. We see some very wonderful emotional moments from Bortus, both between him and Topa and him and Kelly. And then also we get to have some moments of him with Clyden, who returns upon hearing of Topa's abduction, does return and has a beautiful moment with Topa in the medical bay as she's being treated for her injuries. There's tears and apologies, and there's love, and there's growth, and there's some wonderful moments with Bortus, going full, like I said, full Papa Bear, both in his love and protection for Topa, and in it's like, you're the guy who hit my kid. Okay, yeah, you're taking a stun stick to the eye, like that's happening. And seeing the way that Bortus puts his family first above all else, it's been a great thing with Bortus throughout this whole season, throughout the show in general, is seeing how much of not only dedicated to his career Bortus is, but dedicated to his family as well. Not much going on in in the world of subplots with this. There is a small subplot introduced in the beginning where Topa has expressed that she's having feelings for a gentleman, someone on the ship, and Kelly encourages Topa to just go tell him how you feel, and we find out it's Gordon. And Gordon's oblivious to it at first. He thinks Topa just wants to hang out, and there's a great light bulb moment where he realizes what Topa's asking, and he lets her down gently, and is as nice about it as he possibly could be, which actually leads to some other fantastic moments with Gordon later on in the episode, where he kind of loses his temper a little bit in dealing with the Mocklins, um, and says kind of what everyone's been thinking up to this point, but hasn't really had the guts to say, which is kind of his argument to begin with, which is like, he's like, we need to stop just bending over for the Mocklins every time they want something because we're afraid they're going to pull out of the Union. You know what? Screw them, let them go. And by the end of it, the rest of the Union pretty much says, yeah, no, screw them. If this is the kind of behavior they're going to have, we're not going to put up with it anymore. It's a great development of character and furthering the plot forward as well. One thing I have noticed with this season that I've really been impressed by is actually Seth MacFarlane himself as Captain Ed Mercer. You know, with someone like Seth MacFarlane, who has got kind of the clout that he does, and as the runner of the show, he could very easily make this entire show just about him, just about his character. And what I've noticed in the past in projects where he's made himself the main character or in this lead role, he never does it in such a way that he's this infallible hero. If you look at a movie like A Million Ways to Die in the West, yes, he's the hero, but he doesn't play himself off as like this perfect, he, kind of example of a person, of a hero. Like, he's an idiot. He's an idiot, and he's insecure, and he's got his issues. And with Captain Ed Mercer, it's been a lot of the same. Like, Ed's not really the main character of the show. He's very much just part of an ensemble, but he's a very flawed character in and of itself. But in this season, we've really seen some great acting from Seth MacFarlane. In this episode, there are some moments where he really feels very, almost, it gives you like, it's like he's channeling Captain Picard in the way that he carries himself and expresses himself as the captain, as a leader of a ship. I've been very impressed with that. Like, there's been a lot of very dramatic acting based moments in this show throughout its entirety, but especially in this season, where I feel like the whole cast has shined. And Seth MacFarlane's one of the ones I've just been very impressed with, because we think of him as the Family Guy creator. You think of him as a goofy guy and silly and always funny. And to see how well he can do the serious moments as an actor was very impressive. I was very impressed by it in this episode in particular. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this amazing cameo by Dolly Parton. It was fantastic and wonderful. I have a lot of respect and love for Dolly Parton. I'm not a Dolly Parton fan, like, it's just not my taste of music, but just the kind of person she's always sort of presented herself to be has been wonderful. And seeing how she was used in this episode was fantastic as well. It was wonderfully done. The more things keep going, this is episode 8. There's only 2 episodes left in this season. And I really am starting to feel like they're setting themselves up for another season, because there are things happening in this episode that could have very lasting repercussions for this world, this universe we've come to know and love. The Twitter grouping, the movement on Twitter, I think is the word I'm looking for, has grown exponentially in the last couple of weeks of people demanding this show be renewed. And I've very much been championing that loud and proud. I have been loving this show since its inception, and this season in particular has been easily one of the best shows streaming online right now. And I'm putting that up there with shows like The Boys. I mean, this has just been an absolute wonderful show to watch. And this season has shown how much they are deserving the opportunity to keep going and keep playing in this sandbox they've built for themselves. But hey, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. What did you think of this episode of the Orville? What do you think of the season so far? And are you with me and a lot of other people on the internet? Do you think this show needs a season 4? Should the show be allowed to keep going? Let me know down in the comments, or you can always let us know on Twitter. All of our Twitter stuff's down in the description of this video, which you can like, and make sure you subscribe to check out everything else we have coming out of the pipeline here on Off the Wall. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.